Hello out there in YouTube land, this is Morrisman, and as always I thank you guys for coming to my channel and the ongoing support and subscriptions. Really means a lot to me, and I enjoy helping out or providing information that I can do, because that's the great thing about YouTube. There's something here for everybody. You know, I'm still learning as a guitar player, as a songwriter, as a short film maker, and there are people out there that are kind enough and gracious enough to share their information and expertise and knowledge. So I try to do the same, give back. So moving right along, today this video is going to be more or less kind of I wish I would have known what I know now then, and I'm trying to head off years of confusion and doing the wrong things for guitar players so they can go straight to the chase, because most people that want to play an instrument, they get excited when they hear something on the radio and they want to say, wow, I want to do that. And that's, I think, where it starts. You hear it on the radio, you say, wow, or TV, you see it and you say, man, I want to do this. So, you know, you go in search of or go on your journey to try to do that. So I'm just going to give you, I guess, some tidbits as far as information that will be helpful to you and allow you to avoid, you know, the obstacle that's thrown in front of you that takes years to get around and get over. And here are a few of them. And they're kind of like myths, because when I was learning how to play guitar, I was told that in order to play the stuff on the radio, you have to play this stuff here first for a year or so. That is absolutely false. It's ridiculous, but I think back on it, and the process is, and not all music teachers are trying to do this, somebody taught them how to teach, you know, and it just continues. But there are a lot of things that they start to teach you that it's just not necessary, and you can eliminate it and go straight to the chase. And here is one of them. They start you off with quote-unquote easy playing books. Don't waste your time with those, because it's a waste of time, because what they could be teaching you to get you to radio land, they could be teaching you now, as opposed to, I got to teach you this first, or use this chord as opposed to that chord, because the easy chord is no difficult or no easier than the hard chord, supposedly. So why teach me this chord when you could just teach me this one? They both equally a challenge and not that difficult to do. Now, the only difference regarding that is jazz music and they jazz voicings. I've yet to see an easy guitar chord book for jazz, because there isn't one. Either you play the chord or you don't. You know, either you play the triad, the 13th chord, diminished, augmented, diminished chords, or you don't. And the thing with jazz versus any other style of music, you can't really pull off playing a substitution chord because it won't sound right. It throws off the rest of the arrangement. So you either do it or you don't. So that's something you want to avoid. You know, throw those easy books in the garbage, because they're garbage. Just go straight to the chase and find a teacher that's willing to teach you now, here and now, what you need to learn to play the stuff off the radio. Because if you don't, you're going to spend a whole year playing some stuff that you would never use, and it's just not beneficial and not really necessary to know. So, you know, most of us back in the era, in my era, we learned that the hard way, and we really didn't know what we know now to kind of dispute what we were taught then. Because, like I said, I got frustrated years ago and just stopped going to teachers, because I'm like, they're not teaching me nothing that's going to get me to radio land. But I met a guy by the name of Frank in Chicago Conservatory of Music. He gave me information and packages to study and take me straight to radio land. It was none of this easy guitar book nonsense, or you got to play this first and then you can play this next year. He said, I can get you on the road right now, because the majority of the guys that I've taught are playing on a professional level and they're touring with major artists. You know, so I thank God for Frank, because I spent many years wasting time with teachers that were teaching me stuff that I would never use. And again, I don't totally blame the teachers, because they were taught to teach you that way. So therefore, they taught you what they know. And here is another one, which I don't understand. And if anybody can explain this one to me, please send me a comment. You know, when you can't find the sheet music and you just not at that level where you can kind of use your ear to kind of determine what chords are being played, you go on the internet and type in, you know, I want to know the chords to this song, and then it sends you to a couple of sites. One of them is called Ultimate Tabs, and you go there, you're excited because they got the tab and how I can play the chords. So you click on there, it opens up, and someone tabbed it, and it's in a different key of the song. Now, first of all, I'm saying to myself, why and how did you tab a song that's in a different key? And what's the purpose of tabbing a song in a different key with the exception of the vocalist. Now the vocalist might not be able to handle that key, so therefore you transpose it to another key that's comfortable to the vocalist. But I do not understand the reason behind you posting these songs in a different key. You know, because most of us want to play along with the song to make sure we accurate and getting close as possible. So I don't know what that's about. The only thing I can say is I think there's some people that's just trying to trip some people up and keep you from getting some stuff for free. So therefore they throw a roadblock in front of you and have you kind of dumbfounded. That's my assumption or analysis of that, because that makes absolutely no sense to me, that you tab a song in a different key than a record. And it's like, this is useless to me because I can't really use the record as a reference because it's in a different key. So that's another one you kind of want to be aware of. That people out there, they do these kind of things, and they kind of do it deliberately, because again, I just don't understand why would you tab a song in a different key. But here's another few quick tidbits, and then I'm going to wrap this up. When you buy sheet music and you want to play the chords, and they have the chords up there, and you're playing the chorus, and you say, why this doesn't sound like the record? And here is the reason is, and I've never had an instructor tell me this, but I kind of figured it out on my own. The majority of those songs that are in songbooks have the chords up there. Those chords are in open position, meaning that all the finger is up within the first, I think it's first 5 frets or 4 frets. Yeah, 4 frets, I believe. Well, 3 or 4. All of them are up in the first position. So you go to play these records or these songs along with your record again, because you want to go to Radio Land. That's what starts it. And it doesn't sound the same. And it's like, what am I doing wrong? You're not really doing anything wrong. They taught you wrong, because the majority of those songs, when you listen to the radio, they're not playing them in open position. With the exception of maybe country and western songs and folk songs, they usually use open chords for the majority of their songs. But the majority of the R&B songs, the pop songs, the rock songs, they don't play in first position. So therefore, it's a different voicing. It's the same chord, but a different voicing, which makes it sound different. So that's why it doesn't sound like the record. And unless you go get full score music where they give you the actual tabulation as far as where's the guitar player fingers playing, or what fretboard and the piano, what range he's playing or whatever, they do it accurately. Now, it's hard to find those types of sheet music or books because they're very expensive. But just be mindful that if you're looking at the sheet music and it says it asks for F chord, and it gives you a first position F chord, where you're supposed to put your finger, most likely you might want to try the bar F chord or an F chord on the root of the 5th string, or just another inversion somewhere down the neck of the string, because after you develop your ear, you can kind of determine what range or where you think the guitar player might be. As opposed to, I know he's not up here in the first 3 frets, he's somewhere on the 5th fret or maybe the 11th or 12th fret. So those are things you need to be mindful of, that no one will really tell you, and you eventually have to figure it out or just totally confused, because they don't teach you that in most classes. Because like I said, I went through a lot of teachers and I never had anybody tell me that. And that's very important. That's very important. So I'm going to kind of wrap this one up, because, as things come back to me, I try to write them down and try to, pass them on to you guys. But those are just some things that I thought about, over the last couple of days. And I thought that might be helpful to some people. Say, man, you know what? That makes sense to me. Thanks, because nobody told me. I've been fiddling around up here on the first 3 frets for like the last 6 months, and don't sound nothing like the record. And that's why. So on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. And as always, I thank you guys, and take care.